Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. So in today's video we're going to make the balaclava. I've seen several granny square balaclavas and I made an African flower square and thought why not change it or why not use it to make a balaclava, and that's what I've done for this video. I really enjoy it, I really love it, and I hope you'll also enjoy the tutorial. So let's jump over to our video. For this tutorial, you're going to need yarn, so I'll be using a fingering or a fine weight yarn, and I'll double the strands to achieve my DK or my category 3 yarn. So you'll need the yarn in 5 different colors, 1 for the first round, then 2, 3, 4, 5. You can decide to use 1 color for 2 rounds or 1 color for every round. So this balaclava uses 8 squares. And I decided to use only 2 designs or 2 types, this one and this one. So I have 5 squares of this color scheme and then 3 of this other color scheme. And each square has 5 rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each round has a different color. So this is a perfect idea for scrap yarns, and you can also decide to use different colors for every square and switch it up the way you prefer. So I have the squares here. This one uses 1 color for 2 rounds, the first round and the very last round, because I ran out of the color that I used on this particular one. So I'll just show you how to create the flower, and then you can switch up the colors the way you want to do them. You'll need a 4.5mm crochet hook. 4.5. You'll need DK yarn in 5 colors or the colors you have, but at least you should have 4 colors. And then you're going to need a pair of scissors and a darning needle to weave in the ends when you through with your work. To begin, you're going to start by making a magic ring. For the magic ring, I'm going to chain 4, then join it with a slip stitch to my first chain. So chain 4, then slip stitch the very first chain, and then you're going to slip stitch in that ring that we've just created and start our round 1. So round 1 you're going to chain 3. This counts as our first double crochet, then yarn over and work another double crochet in the same ring, then chain 2 and place 2 more double crochets in the same ring. Chain 2, 2 more double crochet in the same ring, and that's what you're going to repeat. So we have 1, 2, 3 sets of 2 double crochet each. So you're going to chain 2, work 2 more double crochets, chain 2, 2 more double crochet, chain 2, 2 more double crochet, until you have a total of 8 sets of the 2 double crochets. So you already have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to add 5 more, and then I'll meet you when I'm done with 8 sets of the 2 double crochet. After you're through with your 8 sets of 2 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, so 1, 2, and then join your round with a slip stitch to the first double crochet stitch. So you're going to go in that chain 3, locate the top chain and work your slip stitch, then chain 1 and cut yarn. So round 1 is complete and we have 8 sets of our 2 double crochet stitches. So you can go ahead and grab this center chain or center yarn and pull it to close that gap at the center. When that is done, you're going to grab our color to our second color. So the second color, I'm going to use this color blue. You're going to make a slip knot, then insert your hook and go in any chain 2 space with a standing double crochet. So yarn over your hook, go in any chain 2 space, then insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So that's our first double crochet. Then work 2 more double crochets in the same space, then chain 2, yarn over. In the next space you're going to place 3 double crochets. Chain 2, go in the next space, work 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 2 and repeat the pattern, working 3 double crochets in every chain 2 space all the way until you reach the last chain 2 space, and at the end you should have a total of 8 sets of 3 double crochets with 2 or chain 2s in between. So continue, and then I'll meet you at the end of round 2. At the end of round 2 you're going to join it to the first double crochet, chain 2, and then join it to the first double crochet with a slip stitch, chain 1 and cut your yarn. Then we'll proceed to round 3. So I made a mistake in the beginning saying that our square is only 5 rounds. It's 6 rounds. Round 3 and round 4 uses same color, so I counted it as 1 round, but it's 2 rounds. So we're going to use the next color, which is white, to work our round 3 and round 4. So make a slip stitch, a slip knot, and then insert your hook, and you want to go in any chain 2 space, work a standing double crochet, and then add another double crochet, then chain 2 and work 2 more double crochets in the same space. Go in the next space, work 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So that's what you're going to repeat for this round 3. 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Then repeat that all the way to the last space, working 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Then I'll meet you when you're joining it and starting our round 4. So at the end of round 3 you're going to join it with a slip stitch to the first double crochet, the standing double crochet, then slip stitch in the next double crochet stitch, then slip stitch in the chain 2 space. So for this next round you're going to start by chaining 2, and the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so you're going to yarn over, go in the same space and work a double crochet, then add 6 more double crochets in the same space. So you should have a total of 7 double crochets in that chain 2 space. Yarn over, go in the next chain 2 space and work 7 double crochets. So that's what you're going to repeat all the way until the end of the round. You're going to go in the next chain 2 space, work 7 double crochets, 7 double crochets, 7 double crochets all the way in each chain 2 space until you reach the end. And when you reach the end you should have 8 sets of these 7 double crochet stitches. At the end of your round 4, after working your last 7 double crochets in this last chain 2 space, you're going to attach it with a slip stitch to the very first double crochet. Then chain 1 and cut the yarn. You're going to grab your next color for the round 5 and make a slip knot. Then insert your hook, pull through, and you want to go in the first stitch of these 7 double crochet clusters. Any stitch around, I prefer going in this next cluster, not the first cluster that I started with. So I'll go in the very first stitch and work a standing single crochet, then single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 2, so after working your 7 single crochet stitches, you want to go in the space above your row or round 2 granny stitch. So locate the round 2 stitch and then go in that space right above it with a long single crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull it to the level of your single crochet stitches and work a long single crochet. Then go ahead and work single crochet in the next 7 stitches. Then work a long single crochet in this space above your round 2 stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull it to the level of your single crochet stitches and work a single crochet. Then work single crochet in the next 7 stitches. Then long single crochet above this granny stitch here. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around, working single crochet in the next 7 stitches, long single crochet the next 7, long single crochet all the way until you reach the very last stitch here. So after working the last single crochet on this one, you're going to work a long single crochet and then join it with the slip stitch to the first stitch. So I'll meet you at the very last long single crochet stitch. So when you reach the last single crochet stitch, you're going to work your long single crochet above the round 2 stitch, then join to the slip stitch to the very first single crochet, chain 1 and cut your yarn. So grab your next color, then make a slip knot, insert your hook, and then go in that last stitch of your previous row and work a standing single crochet. So go ahead and work single crochet in the next 5 stitches, sorry, the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you should have a total of 5 single crochet stitches, and then you want to work a half double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next, so yarn over, go in the next stitch and work a double crochet. Then you're going to work a treble in this next stitch, so yarn over twice, go in the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, then chain 2, go in the next stitch and work a treble crochet, then double crochet in the next stitch, half double the next, and then you're going to work 10 single crochets. So work 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches, and then I'll meet you in the next corner. After working 10 single crochet stitches, this was our first corner, so you're going to work another corner on this side. So yarn over, go in the next stitch, work a half double crochet, then double crochet in the next stitch, and treble crochet in the next stitch. Then chain 2 and work another treble in the next stitch. double crochet the next stitch, half double in the next stitch, then work 10 single crochets. After your 10 single crochets, you're going to work a half double in the next stitch, then double crochet in the next stitch, and then treble in the next stitch. Chain 2, yarn over twice, treble in the next stitch, double in the next stitch, and then half double in the next stitch. Work 10 single crochets and I'll meet you in our last corner. So you've already done 3 corners, so 1, 2, 3. Work your 10 single crochets and then I'll meet you in the very last corner. Now you can work your last stitches here. After working 10 single crochet stitches, you're going to work a half double in this next stitch. So work a half double and then double in the next stitch, then treble in the last part of that side. So next stitch, work a treble, then chain 2 and work a treble in the next stitch. Double in the next, half double in the next. Then at this point you should have 5 stitches remaining. Remember, we started with 5 single crochet stitches and we need to have 10 before every corner. So you're going to work on the last 5 single crochet stitches. Then join it to a first standing single crochet with a slip stitch. And your round 6 is complete. So for the next round, you're going to have 7 rounds. So your next round, you're also going to use this color, and it is this row or round of double crochet stitches all the way, working 2 double crochet, chain 2 to double crochet in the chain 2 spaces at the corner. So after joining it with a slip stitch, you're going to chain 3. This chain 3 will count as our first double crochet, then yarn over, go in the next stitch, work a double crochet, then double crochet in each stitch until you reach the corner chain 2 space. So after working your last stitch on this treble stitch, you're going to work 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space, then chain 2 and add 2 more double crochets in the same space. Then turn to this side, work 1 double crochet in each stitch, starting with the treble crochet. So from here you're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way to this last stitch here, the treble crochet. Then work 2 double crochet, chain 2 to double crochet in the chain 2 space, continue with 1 double crochet in each stitch, work a 2 double crochet, chain 2 to double crochet in this next space, then 1 double crochet in each stitch. When you reach the last space, you're going to work 2 double crochet, chain 2 to double crochet, then work 1 double crochet in every stitch until the end. And then I'll meet you when you're joining this round, because you're not going to join it with a slip stitch, since you're going to join the squares together using the surface slip stitch. After working your very last double crochet stitch, you're going to cut your yarn. Do not chain, do not do anything. Pull through your yarn, and you're going to feed it inside your darning needle and join it with an invisible seam. So you want to go inside the top 2 loops of our first chain 3, then pull through, because that is our first stitch. So you want to pull through completely and then go inside your very last stitch, the front loop. Don't go through both loops, go through the front loop, and then this bar here in front. So go inside those and pull through and pull it tight. So we have our first stitch here and our very last stitch. So here you can just push your yarn to the back and weave it inside your work. So that's how to do an African flower square. Now go ahead and work 7 more until you have a total of 8 squares, and then I'll meet you now when you're joining them together to create the balaclava. So one thing that I forgot to mention is when you're through with your squares, after you've done the 8 squares, go ahead and block them. You can see the way this one is straight and it's laying perfectly, while this one is curled at the corners. So go ahead and block it and then come back when you're through with your 8 blocked squares. So when you're through with your squares, you want to put them like this, 3 at the very bottom. So this is the area that will go around your neck. This one will be on the front side, so we won't join it at this point yet. And then 3 that will go around your head, and then this one will be at the very top of your head. So you want to join these 2 together, then continue with your join up until you reach this point, and then we'll bring this one like this and then join it all the way to the end. Then when you're through, you'll join it back here and then back here. So let's start joining these first 2 together. So to join our squares, you want to go in the, we had a chain 2 here at the corner, so skip the very first and then go in the second chain that is aligning to this row, and then going in the back loop only. You want to come back in this other square, go in that chain, and then you want to yarn over, pull through that first chain, and then pull through the next chain. Then just pass this one over your working yarn to close it or to fasten it. Then you want to go inside this next chain here, sorry, next stitch, only through the back loop. Come back in this other side, go through the back loop, then yarn over, pull through all those stitches. Go in the next stitch only in the back loop, come back this other side through the back, pull through the stitches and the loop on your hook. And that is what you're going to repeat until we finish joining these 2 squares together. So you're going to repeat that, and then I'll meet you after you've worked your last stitches on the very last double crochet stitch here, and then the last stitch on this other side. So after working all those sides together, this is how your seam will look like. And then you're going to grab the second 2 squares and continue with our surface slip stitch join. So after you've worked your last stitch, you're going to go in the next chain. So insert your hook only in the back of that chain. Do the same for this other side. Then work your slip stitch. And now we're going to go in the chain on this other square. So go in that chain, the next chain that is aligning with that row. Skip the first one, go in the second one, I'm sorry if you can't see clearly in this color, but you'll bear with me. So going in the back loop, remember your working yarn should be at the back or behind your squares. Then go in the next square, work your slip stitch. So insert your hook in that next chain and work a slip stitch. So after you've joined those two squares together, you're going to go with slip stitch or the surface slip stitch on your individual stitches. So go in the next stitch, back loop only, the next stitch, back loop only, and work a slip stitch. Go in the next stitch, back loop, next stitch, back loop, and work a slip stitch. So you're going to repeat this all the way until you're through with this second set of squares. So I'll work the last slip stitches on these chain ones or the chain stitches. So go in the next chain stitch on both sides and work your last slip stitch. So you're through joining 4 squares, and the next square that you're going to join is going to be joined on this side and this other side. So we can start by joining it on this side, and then we cut our yarn at the end, then come back and join these 2 squares to this side of the middle part, and then when you're through with joining these 2 or these 4, we'll come back and join this other one this way. So remember, your yarn should be at the back of your squares. Go in the next stitch on your right hand side, insert your hook in that chain, then come back on this other chain, insert your hook, then yarn over, pull through the stitches, pull through the loop on your hook. Go in the next stitch, both sides, then work your surface slip stitch. Go in the next stitch, both sides, work your surface slip stitch. So repeat this all the way until you're through with your last stitch, and then we can finish it off together. So when you reach the very last stitches, and after working on them, you're going to work on the next chain. So insert your hook in that next chain, and then insert it on this other square, then work your slip stitch. Now at this point you can just chain 1 and cut your yarn. Then yarn over and pull it through. So this is how our work looks like at this point. And what you're going to do, you're going to proceed and join these 2 squares before we join this seam, because you're going to join the seam right from the very edge here all the way to the end of these 2 squares. So you're going to repeat the same pattern that we did in attaching this yarn here and joining them. So grab your yarn, then pick your squares, and you want to start on the square right on your right side. If you're left-handed, it should be the square on your left hand side. Go in that chain next to your next or next to your first stitch on this row, and then you want to insert your hook in the first chain also on this other side. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through those chains. You can either chain one or just pass your shorter end above your working yarn and then proceed with the join. So go in the next stitch, insert your hook in the back loop only. This other side also insert your hook in the back loop only, and then yarn over, pull through all those stitches. Go in the next stitch, insert your hook in the back loop, come this other side, go in the back loop, then work your slip stitch. So you want to go ahead joining those two squares. So this is how you work. Oops, we made a mistake. Instead of starting here, we started here. So I'll just unravel my work and then do the same, do just what you just did. Start it from the very edge here, go all the way to this point, join the last two stitches together, then go in the next chain stitches, join them together, then you'll grab your next square, start by the next chain on this row, insert your hook in the back loop, insert your hook in the back loop of this other side, then slip stitch and continue with that all the way until you reach here. So I'll meet you when you're here. After working your squares, this is how your work should look like at this point. You have the 3 around the neck, the 3 around the head, and 1 at the center of the head. So when you reach here with your yarn, you're going to bring this square this way, and then you're going to work this side. So you can either do it this side or work this side first and then come and finish this center part at the end, but I'll work this side first. So with your yarn behind your work, you're going to insert your hook on the first stitch of this square, the chain next to this row. That's where you're going to insert your hook through the back only, and then come and insert it on the next chain here, then work your slip stitch. Go in the next stitch, insert your hook, back loop, this other side, insert your hook, back loop, grab your yarn, pull it through the stitches, then pull it through the loop on the hook. And you're going to repeat that all the way until you reach this other side. After you've worked all the way to your last chains, you're going to go in this space here, then yarn over, pull through your yarn through that space and then through that stitch, and you can pull it all the way to the right side. And after you've done that, you can grab your darning needle and then weave in this loose end. So you want to weave it in also through this slip stitch so that it's not visible on our work. can now pass it at the back of your work, and then from here you can go on and finish your seaming. So this is how it looks like. This is the part that we left for the middle part, or the head, the middle part of the head, and then this is around the head. So the only part that is remaining is to join these two together. So you'll repeat the same pattern. Attach your yarn at the corner, chains here, then join it with that surface slip stitch all the way until you reach this part. When you reach here, you're going to go in this space on this next square, make a slip stitch, then pull through, then work your seaming along this side to hide your tail. Turn it in the back or push the tail at the back and then weave it inside. So I'll meet you when you're through with this side, and then we'll work on joining this area together, then joining the front panel. Remember, we had a square here for the front neck part. After joining the top part of the hood, this is how it will look like. So this was the center square, and then this was the 3 squares around the head, and then these are the 3 squares around the neck. So what you're going to do, you're going to turn it inside, and then remember we had 4 squares around the neck, so grab your last square, and then you want to join it to this, to the left side of your work. So the left square on that bottom row, you want to join it there all the way up, and then when you reach here, you're going to join these squares together now. So that's why you're going to work around this area. So remember, your yarn is always behind your work at all time. Go in that chain next to your row that you're working on, and then go in this other chain of this other square, and then work a slip stitch. Pass your tail above your working yarn and then continue with your slip stitches. So go in the next stitch, back loop only, then do the same for this other square, then work a slip stitch. So you want to repeat these working slip stitches across this side all the way until you reach this point here. After joining your new square with this previous one all the way to the top or to the end of that row, you want to grab now these top squares. So you want to join them along this edge. So you leave your square that you just joined, the middle square, and go to these 2 squares. Insert your hook in that chain next to the stitches you're working on. Then do the same on this other square. Work your first slip stitch. Then continue working the slip stitches on every stitch all the way. Remember to work only in the back loop. So continue with that, and then I'll meet you at this point. So after working all the way to this point where our squares join, you're going to skip that slip stitch join here, and then go in the next square, the first chain. So go in those chain stitches and continue with your slip stitch. Then from here on you can continue working your slip stitch on the back loop only of your stitches. So that is what you're going to repeat. So this is how it looks like here at the join. And then do the same when you reach this other point. Remember, your working yarn is always behind your stitches. So when you reach here, you're also going to work your slip stitches on the last 2 chains. Then skip to these squares, work in that chain and the next chain. Continue with the stitches all the way until you reach here. And then I'll meet you when you're through. Now we'll join this square to this other one. So when you've worked all the way around, you should come back to the very first square of your neck, and then you're going to join it to this square that we just added. So you're going to turn your work and then always start with the square on your right, go in that chain next to the row that you want to work on. Then go in the chain on this other square, work your first slip stitch, and then you're going to slip stitch on every stitch all the way to the end of this row. So by this point you've mastered how to work the slip stitch. So go ahead, work slip stitch all the way until the end of the row, and then when we reach the end, we'll work a row or 2 around this border so that it doesn't look like this, it looks neater. I've managed to finish my row and the whole balaclava or your hoodie is done. This is how it looks like. I really love it. And now the next step is going to be to work a border on the front and then a border here at the end. So still using your yarn, do not cut it. You're going to chain 1 and then you're going to work single crochet stitches along this row, working in every stitch. So you're going to go in this chain, we have a chain 1 here, so go in the space and work a single crochet, then go in the stitch and work 1 single crochet, then place 1 single crochet in every stitch until you reach the corner or the join between 2 squares. So when you reach the next spaces, you're going to work a single crochet in this first space, then move to the next space and work a single crochet. Then you continue with single crochet in every stitch. So repeat that all around. When you reach this other space, you're going to work 1 single crochet, then move to the next one, work 1 single crochet. Then when you reach here, you're also going to do the same, work 1 stitch and 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then I'll meet you at the very last space here. When you reach back to this chain next to where we started, you're going to work a single crochet in that chain and then join it to the first one here with a slip stitch, chain 1. You can go for 1 more round, but for this specific one I'll just work a reverse single crochet to end it. So go in that previous single crochet stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. Then go in the previous work a single crochet. So you're going to work this single crochet, the reverse single crochet stitch all the way until the end of our round. we'll join it to the, we'll chain, then we cut our yarn and weave in that loose end. So go ahead, work this reverse single crochet all the way around, and then when we reach the very last stitch here, I'll meet you when you are now weaving in our end and then working on this front opening. After working the reverse single crochet all the way around, you're going to go in the very first stitch. Remember, we didn't work on that stitch, and work your last reverse single crochet. Then you can do not chain, just cut your yarn and pull it through. So you'll go ahead and weave this one inside your work. So our bottom edging is complete, and this is how it looks like at this point. Now the next step is to work a border around the face area, and you're going to mark, or you're going to join your yarn on any corner space. So grab your yarn, then make a slip knot, insert your hook, go in that corner space of your independent square, the one around your neck, and work a standing single crochet. Go in this space here, work another single crochet, then continue, go in this space, work a single crochet, and continue placing one single crochet in each stitch. When you reach this space here, you're going to place a single crochet in this space, then jump to this next space, work a single crochet, and repeat that all the way. When you reach this other corner, work a single crochet in this space, a single crochet in this space, and a single crochet in this space. Then continue with your single crochets all the way until you reach your starting point. After working all the way around and you're back to where we started, you're going to work a slip stitch on the very first standing single crochet, then chain one, go in the same stitch, work a single crochet, and then continue placing one single crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to work a total of 4 rounds of single crochets, and then after 4 rounds we'll work the reversible single crochet. So go ahead, so this will be our second round. When you're done, slip stitch in the first stitch, then chain one and continue third round, fourth round, fifth round, fourth round. So we'll work 4 rounds of single crochets, and then when you're back here, we'll work a reverse single crochet, chain one, cut our yarn, and weave in the end. After you're through with your 4 rows or your 4 rounds, you're going to chain one and then work the reversible single crochet. So go in the previous stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and then repeat this all the way around until you reach your very first stitch. At the very end of your round, you want to go in the very first stitch, insert your hook, and work your last reverse single crochet, then cut your yarn. I lost my scissors, so cut your yarn and then pull it through. Sorry. Then you're going to grab your darning needle and then weave that end inside your work. Then you can go ahead and cut your end. So that is all for today's tutorial, and I really love the outcome. If you also enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe down below. Till next time, stay safe, God bless you, and bye.